So currently I'm given the responsibility of higher education reform and policy changes. Presently we have 17 state universities. One of the universities is nearly 102 years. That's the Columbia University. And our youngest university is Wageningen University, which is about 3 years old. Altogether we have 7,200 full-time academia under our pay list, and roughly about 150,000 undergrads and another about 50,000 external who are doing masters and other postgraduate studies. Last 4 years, even with huge economic challenges and fundamental restructures of this country, the state and government had invested nearly about 75 billion for higher education, and on average the country's budget allocation for entire education had been 250 billion rupees. In the 17 universities, we offer 998 different undergrad degrees and about another 50 postgrad degrees. Out of these 988 degrees, 349 are what we call art stream degrees. So we have had a perennial issue of these art degree holders. When they come out, how do they integrate themselves with the society? This reason for this is that Sri Lanka has 10,218 general schools, out of which about 3,000 are offering advanced level. The sad side is that out of the 3,000 schools, only 2,100 only offers the art streams. There are no other streams in these schools. So what happens to a girl from Mirissa or Tangalla getting through GCOL with 9 A's, if she cannot come to national school or another school, she'll have to follow art stream, where she had the potential of being maybe South Asia's next most influential scientist, and that we don't allow her to become. I mean, it's the same thing in Mullaitivu or in Mana in the rural area. So this is a fundamental structural issue the state is looking at, how to reform our general education. So we get, out of our 40,000 average now that we intake for our universities, is roughly about 16,000 are art degree seekers. So this cycle is keep going, and we need to find how we can positively intervene. Now, you all as journalists, learned journalists, know that in 1988 Berlin Wall was removed, after which there are two areas that change so rapidly in the world. One is, of course, media. Media changed totally. We had the SLBC having one channel, and at 9 o'clock after news we close and go to bed. And whatever my grandmother used to read, she used to listen to the news and then read the Jataka stories, because the first truth comes from the news and second, the eternal truth came to her Jataka. That's it. But today I was born into a world where there was no computers, and then computers came, then internet came, then email came, then came Facebook, then came TikTok. Now we are living in an AI era. So media changed so fast, and the second change happened was in education, particularly higher education. Between two ideological camps, the marketization of higher education as well as a holistic national need was also debated. In Sri Lanka, we have, as I mentioned, 17 state universities, and we have 24 non-state universities, right? And they have number of unregulated, what they call is affiliated institutes, which are, may I use the word, selling degrees from foreign degrees in Sri Lanka. And then we have also about 15,000 students leaving the country seeking various kinds of degrees. We don't have data on them because these are visa issued by different embassies, and they are not sharing with us that information. So it's immigration only will say how many adults are leaving for a particular university. Whether they are in the university continuing and finishing is a different story. So this is the kind of scenario. Last 2 years, I think average advanced level students 325,000 sat for the exam, and highest intake was 41,000, which means about only 11% we take. And this is the history is so challenging to us, because 1971 insurgency happened after 8 years when we started our vernacular degrees. So භාෂිකව අපේ උපාධිය උගන්නලා අවුරුදු 7කින් ඒ උපාධිය ගත්ත අය රාජ්‍යයට විරුද්ධව අවි ගත්තා. ඇයි ඒ? කලා විෂයන් කරනවා, රැකියාවක් නැහැ, එළියට ගිහිල්ලා ඒගොල්ලෝ සමාජයෙන් පීඩනය ලබන අය, සමාජය ඒගොල්ලෝ දිහා බැලුවේ පීඩාකාරී අය හැටියටයි. ඒ නිසා මේ විෂය අපි වෙනස් කරන්නට ලැස්ති. We are changing the 349 art degrees. We are trying to make it as a cross-discipline degrees in Sri Lanka. Meaning a student who is studying music also can study sound engineering. A student who is studying music also can study digital marketing. A student who is doing painting also will study museology. So that when she comes out of the university, she is versatile. She can fit into the market's need and where there is opportunity. So that's our basic understanding. My president, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, is very committed on this. Education reform is, he had been the longest education minister with experience, so he has this as a very close to heart. We are now negotiating with 3 prominent universities, international universities, to open their branches in Sri Lanka. Okay, I would not want to mention those names yet because they are at the preliminary discussion level. I think at least 2 universities are going to. So why we are interested in this is Sri Lanka is always poised to be one of the best hubs for education. South Indian market alone, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra and Telangana is going to have 350 million population by 2030, and the economy is growing. They need, middle class needs education. So where will they go? It is easy for them to come to Colombo than go to Delhi, right? It's cheaper, education is same, culture is same, language is almost same. So we need to look at that market, and we need to provide every student who wants to study a high education. අපේ රාජ්‍ය තුල ඉන්න සෑම පුරවැසියෙකුටම උසස් අධ්‍යාපනයක් අවශ්‍ය නම් ඒ උසස් අධ්‍යාපනය ලබා දීමේ වගකීම රාජ්‍ය සතුයි. එය රාජ්‍ය අධ්‍යාපනයේද, රාජ්‍ය නොවන අධ්‍යාපනයේද, උපාධි අධ්‍යාපනයේද, කාර්මික අධ්‍යාපනයේද කියන එක අපිට විවාද කරගන්නට පුළුවන්. මොකද අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ මානව අයිතිය හැටියට අධ්‍යාපනයේ මානව අයිතියක්. Education is a fundamental human rights. So my president is committed to see a way we can deal. Of course, we have challenges. We have challenges because when W.W. Kannangara introduced free education, our population was nearly about 6 million and only about 400,000 students were there in the schools. And today, how many students are there in the school system? Anybody? Any guess? We have 10,200 schools. And how many students are in our schools? අපේ පාසල් වල උදේ නැගිටලා දරුවෝ කී දෙනෙක් ඉස්කෝලේ යනවද? 43,000. Thank you. So, Kannangara was less than 400,000. So අපි 11 ගුණයකින් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් අපේ ආර්ථිකය 2000 ලබද්දී අපේ ඩොලර් එකේ වටිනාකම කීයද? රුපියලට රුපියල් 2.710යි. අද රුපියල ඩොලර් එකට වටිනාකම කීයද? එහෙනම් අපේ ආර්ථිකය සංකෝචන වෙන ආර්ථිකයේදී ප්‍රසාරණය වෙන ඉල්ලුමක් තිබිලා තියෙනවා අපේ අධ්‍යාපනය සඳහා.
உடனுக்குடன் செய்திகளை பெற்றுக்கொள்ள UTVயின் YouTube தளத்தை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் செய்து கொள்வதுடன் பெல் ஐகானை அழுத்தவும்.